Welcome to all. In case we've never met, I'm your host, your guide through a very bizarre menagerie. Case in point, it has been said by some and held by many that if one wishes hard enough, that wish will come true. Our story, however, teaches us a valuable lesson. Granted wishes sometimes come with a price that you aren't willing to pay. Incidentally, our tale is called Family Heirloom, and I usually keep it safely locked away in the vault of the Nightfall radio show. "10 years ago today, after my father died in a horrible work accident at the coal mines, my grandmother presented to me the family heirloom that had been passed down for many generations. It was after his funeral when she handed it to me and explained the sinister power it had. It was a stone, a very smooth stone with a line of X's that wrapped around it. She told me that the line of X's used to meet around the stone completely. For every wish that is granted to you when you use this stone, an X will fade away, she explained. When she handed it to me, there were only 17 out of the 20 X's that used to be there. But Grandma, we have 17 wishes left. Why don't we wish for Papa to come back?" I asked her as I began to tear up. Her face immediately became disturbed. "You are never to wish for anything from this stone, especially for your father to come back. With every wish you make from this stone, great horrors come with it," she continued, as her expression became more and more heartbroken. "We didn't have any money, my child. We could not afford to feed you or your brother anymore, and soon we were to be kicked out of this home. So we took the stone and wished for health, knowing the horrors that may come of it. And then I knew. The day he died began as normal. His shift was over at 8 p.m., and just before he left the mines he worked in, the ceiling above him collapsed and crushed him, leaving him alive for a few hours as emergency personnel tried to rescue him, suffering for so long as his bones were shattered and his organs were being crushed. He slowly suffocated before they could pull him out of the rubble. A week later, we received a check in the mail for several $100,000. Since then, I'd done research on this stone. I read countless books on rocks, ancient symbols, witches, curses, you name it. Nothing. When I tried to get rid of it, it only came back to appear wherever I went. So I left it locked in a safe under my bed for no one to ever use it. The three of us left in this family became very disconnected since my father's funeral. My mother fell ill and is out of work. So it became up to my brother and I to support each other, my mother, and whatever this house has left. I woke up the next Sunday morning to my brother shutting the door to go to church. He'd become very religious after the mine accident. It was noon when I received a call from the hospital saying my brother was pronounced dead after an awful car accident. My mother and I were in shock as we cried all afternoon. She looked up at me, and I could see the desperation in her eyes. "I can't lose him. I can't do this." We had the same idea, and we knew it. To try to bring him back. "No," I demanded. "We can't do that. It will take me or you away, or worse." "I know," she responded. "I know." The night was restless as we had plans for the hospital in the morning. But we fell asleep for the very few hours we had left of the night. I woke up to a sudden rumble in the house. My mother missing, and the safe from under my bed unlocked on my desk. And the stone gone. "Mother!" I shouted and ran downstairs to find her. I caught her standing in the living room with the stone in her hand. I immediately took it from her and counted the 16 X's it had left. "What have you done?" I need him back. I need them both back, she cried to me with tears streaming down her cheeks. We sat on the couch for what felt like days awaiting our fate, the horror that is about to present itself to us. At midnight, we heard a knock on the door. We jumped to our feet and looked into each other's eyes with terror. With my heart pounding through my chest, I stepped towards the door. I flipped on the porch light and undid the lock. Just as I put my hand on the knob, I looked back at my mother. I pulled the door open, and standing right in front of me, a wheezing, decomposed corpse looking into my eyes, and what looks like my brother's mangled body crawling to my front door as he lets out a blood-curdling scream. This is the horror.